Since Israel began its offensive in the Gaza Strip, more than 1,500 Palestinians were killed. According to Physicians for Human Rights, 83% of the casualties are civilians. More than 8,000 are injured. On the Israeli side, 60 have died, 86% of them soldiers in combat.
אחר הצהריים, כשהשמועה הלכה והתפשטה, הגיעו חבריו של הדר גולדין לביתו בכפר סבא.
אנחנו רוצים לחזק את צה"ל ואת מדינת ישראל בלחימה מול החמאס בעזה. בטוחים שצה"ל לא יפסיד בשום אופן עד שיהפכו כל אבן ברצועת עזה ויחזירו את הדר הביתה בריא ושלם.
150 are injured, the vast majority hurt while running to shelters from incoming rockets. As the offensive intensifies daily, so too grows the movement against the war.
Ethnic ghettos always have a tendency to have conflict because it's good politically for the leadership on both sides. In other words, Bibi needs the Hamas and the Hamas needs Bibi.
And as TheRealNews reported, the movement in support.
Well, there is a demonstration of thousands of people who believe that violence will not solve anything. It's better to talk before more people are being killed. On the other side, there is a group of Israelis that are very keen to continue the violence and continue and in the illusion that violence can solve the profound problems that we have of occupation and colonialism and terror.
הילדים שלנו בקרב, וזה לא אכפת לתקשורת. אין בעיה לדמוקרטיה, שיעשו הפגנות לא בזמן מלחמה.
The latest poll shows 86% of Israelis are against a ceasefire. Groups of extreme nationalists have taken advantage of the media's distraction, increasing their attacks on Palestinian civilians and anyone who opposes the war. Using social media, right-wing activists have sent call-outs asking people to identify individuals who post anti-war messages on their Facebook and Twitter accounts. They then harass them and pressure their employers to fire them. An employee with the telecommunications company Cellcom, an employee of the Lod municipality, and several hospital nurses were recently fired for posting pro-Palestinian or anti-war messages on their social media accounts. On the other hand, a public servant with the Israeli Post Office who wrote on her Facebook wall that anyone who opposes the war should be sent to the gas chambers was defended by her employer.
המסר הפוליטי הוא אחד כזה, שאלה השמאלנים משחקים את היפה נפש, בזמן שנלחמים שם, שכל הדרום אוכל פגזים, הם הולכים לשתות בירה. הם הסרבני פקודה של צה"ל, הם נגד המדינה הזאת. הם לא יכולים להגיד שצה"ל רוצח, טייסי צה"ל, אני אראה לך בפייסבוק, טייסי רע, הם רוצחים.
אז זה לא שהם כאילו תומכים בעד שלום, זה לא מה שמפריע לכם.
הם תומכים בעד שלום, אבל בדרך שלהם. מי לא רוצה שלום? מי לא רוצה? למה אנחנו לא רוצים שלום?
אז אתה כן רוצה שלום?
בטח שאני רוצה.
אז תתאר לי את השלום שלך.
קודם כל אתה יכול לעשות שלום עם החמאס, הם כן יכולים לעשות שלום.
אז איך היית רוצה לעשות שלום?
לתת לצה"ל לנקות את הקיצונאים, שידעו שכל מי שנשק מקוון לחיילי צה"ל במדינת ישראל יחטוף כדור בראש. רק ככה צריך במדינה הזאת. אין מה לעשות.
אז זה מלחמה, אבל איך
זה מלחמה. אחר כך, אחרי שתחסלי את הטרור, תני להם כלכלה, למה לא? תני להם גם במצוקה, אנחנו מבינים את האוהב.
אנחנו הורגים להם ילדים, אנחנו פשוט מקדימים תרופה למכה. למה? הם נהיים מחבלים. שהם יהיו גדולים, מחבלים.
The presence of pro-war nationalists has intensified, with more and more violent attacks and anti-war demonstrations from protest to protest. The worst of the violence against leftists took place on Saturday night, when mobs followed demonstrators home after the biggest of the anti-war protests, beating and harassing them. These groups are not new in Israel, but their presence is especially visible during military offensives on Palestinians. One of their main leaders is former Member of Parliament Michael Ben-Ari and his two right-hand men, Baruch Marzel and lawyer Itamar Ben-Gvir. The three are followers of Rabbi Meir Kahane, who was once a member of parliament who believed that all Palestinians should be expelled. In between inciting for violence on Palestinians and leftists, the three are involved in the most extreme elements of the settler movement in the West Bank and in anti-refugee movements in South Tel Aviv. A major stream inside the groups Michael Ben-Ari leads is the Lehava organization. Founded by settler Benzi Gopstein, Lehava harasses Jewish women involved in romantic relationships with Palestinians to prevent what they call assimilation.
מה זה להבה?
למניעת התבוללות בארץ הקודש.
אז מה אתם בעצם עושים?
אנחנו מוציאים בחורות שיוצאות עם ערבים ומוציאים אותן שם. גם תהיה, לא משנה באיזה חור בארץ, אנחנו היהודים לא מפקירים יהודיות, לא מפקירים. אף שהולך נגדנו, המנטליות שלהם היא מנטליות רצחנית, היא מנטליות לא טובה, ואפשר לראות עובדות בשטח, אנשים נוסעים ברחובות. אני שמתי לב לדעת
אבל מה זה התבוללות?
The newest wing of the anti-left movement is a spontaneous coalition united by Israeli rapper Yoav Eliassi, who calls himself Hatzel, or the Shadow. Hatzel was first brought to public attention when he called on his Facebook page for fans to attack an anti-war demonstration. When he saw how strong the response was, he issued a wider call, which turned into a nationwide movement. Using military language, he called it Order Number 8, after the Israeli Army's Order 8, which is issued to reserve soldiers when they're called into battle. In the field, Hatzel is often seen collaborating with Baruch Marzel and Michael Ben-Ari. His fans have recently began attending pro-war demonstrations, wearing t-shirts with the slogan, "Good night, left side," common among European neo-Nazi groups. Most alarming, though, are not the organized groups, but incitement from Israeli politicians. Member of Parliament Ayelet Shaked posted on her Facebook that the ongoing conflict is not about the operation or an ongoing offensive. This is war. Who's the enemy? The whole Palestinian nation. Another inciting comment came from the Foreign Minister Avigdor Lieberman. He wrote on his Facebook page that all Arab businesses should be boycotted. But the worst so far came from the Prime Minister himself.
תהום מוסרית רחבה ועמוקה מפרידה בינינו לבין אויבינו. הם מקדשים את המוות, אנחנו את החיים. הם מקדשים את האכזריות ואנחנו את הרחמים.
It's therefore not surprising to hear such sentiments in the Israeli public at large. For example, on Tuesday, a professor of law at the Bar-Ilan University sent a letter to his students saying a third opportunity to take their semester exams will be added because of the ongoing situation. Not identifying Israelis or Palestinians, the professor wrote that he hopes the students are safe and that their families and loved ones are not among the hundreds of killed and thousands of wounded, or the tens of thousands whose homes were destroyed or had to flee. His students complained to the dean, who responded saying that the professor's expression of sympathy with the Gaza victims deeply hurt the students, and that the professor will be reprimanded. Most in Israel perceive sympathy with civilians in Gaza and opposition to the war as opposition to the army. In Israel, the army is seen as the strongest symbol of national unity. Because all Jewish citizens have to serve, being seen as opposing it is often perceived as treason against Israeli society itself.
אבל אתה יכול להסביר, כאילו, כי אני מצלמת, אתה יכול להסביר את הכעס שלכם? למה אתם כל כך כועסים עליהם?
תקשיבי, הכעס שלנו, סליחה.
אבל מישהו שידבר, לא לצחוק.
סליחה, הכעס שלנו, את יודעת מה הכעס שלנו? שיהודים, ישראלים, חיים איתנו במדינה, שרתים איתנו בצבא, אוכלים איתנו במסעדות, מבלים איתנו בסרטים, הם מכריזים כאילו נגד צה"ל, שצה"ל הוא שטן, שצה"ל לא מוסרי. זה נראה לך...
After Saturday night, while mobs chased groups of leftists after the demonstration, a bystander on crutches approached one protester and hit him over the head, cracking his skull. Another, a soldier in uniform, pepper sprayed a group of demonstrators on their way home. When they complained to the police, officers approached him but did not arrest him, instead giving him a high five. For The Real News, I'm Leah Terechansky in Tel Aviv.